this episode of Haunted Collector.
We're going to be investigating the Norfolk Inn.
He committed suicide in one of the rooms in the front.
There was 26 cemeteries that had to be relocated for Norfolk Bike.
Wow. Here we are in Springfield, Missouri.
Something grabbed my arm and shook me awake.
He slit his throat here.
When I moved the curtain, there wasn't anybody there.
What the hell was that?
Jason, look at my EMF.
See that?
Oh my God, no way.
My name is John Zaffis. For over 40 years, I've been helping people with their paranormal problems. I found that spirits can attach themselves to objects and make life a living hell. That's where my team comes in. My son, Chris. My daughter, Amy. Brian, my tech guy. Jason, my researcher. And Jesslyn, my investigator. My job?
What is that?
Don't touch that thing. Find the haunted item and remove it. Because I am the Haunted Collector. Hey, Jason, give me a hand bringing this in, dude.
All right, where do you want to go with it, John?
Go right in the center over here. This came from an orphanage where over 50 children died from smoke inhalation. Recently, I'm noticing it has moved down here, so I want to get a camera on it. I want to see if anything's happening.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
We just got a new case from Pat in Henderson, Arkansas.
Okay.
Take a look.
Hi, John. My name is Pat Gary, and my husband and I own the Lake Norfolk Inn in Henderson, Arkansas. We've had an escalation of activity here in the last couple of years. John, we have seen several different apparitions. We've had people thrown down the stairs, being tripped going up the stairs, being grabbed. Our employees are getting really uncomfortable doing their jobs. We have guests that are leaving early, and things have just seemed to be escalating to a point to where we really do need your help.
Well, this sounds pretty serious. Guys, let's pack up and head out down there. Cool?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, here we are in Henderson, Arkansas. What did you find out?
Norfolk Lake is man-made. It was built by the Army Corps of Engineers, and it was built in 1944 to boost economy in the area.
So wait, they built all this? This lake is man-made?
Yes.
To be able to build a lake, a lot of people were kicked out of their homes, their businesses, farms. A lot of these small towns, parts of them are submerged beneath the lake.
You gotta be careful with these types of property because water is a conductor for paranormal activity. Hi, Pat. John Zaffis.
Hi, John.
This is my daughter, Amy.
Hi, Amy. I'm so glad you're here. Come on in.
Thanks for having us.
We are in the atrium area. We're currently closed for the season, and we'll reopen in the springtime.
So when did you really start to notice activity here?
Actually, ever since we bought the place in '86, but it seems to be increasing over time. There's a little girl that hangs out that I've seen and heard. She likes to sing in the atrium area.
Can you tell me, are there any deaths associated with this area right here?
Yes, there are. We had a gentleman, he committed suicide in one of the rooms in the front. We have guests checking out in the middle of the night, and it's not good for business. That's why I feel like things are escalating and we need a little help. This is one of our hot spots. We had a family checked into this room. They packed up in the middle of the night and checked out a day early because all of them actually had the experience of seeing a woman in white go from this room into that room. And they were all so terrified, they left.
Well, Pat, that's a very interesting piece you have up on the dresser there.
That is pretty unique. That's a couple of walleye that were caught by our local fishing guide.
Were they caught here in the lake?
They were caught here in the lake.
You have to remember, these were living creatures, and at one time, they had a life source to them. Even though they could be taxidermied now, they still can hold on to some type of energy.
This is the club. A lot of our employees, when they have to run to the kitchen to get something and they'll be coming back up these stairs, they'll get grabbed, and it terrifies them. It scares them to death.
Oh, okay.
And actually, my office manager, Tanya, she does not like to come over here.
So, Tanya, tell me a little bit about what you've experienced in here.
My job was to lock up at night, so I had gone through and then I noticed this light here was on. So I came back through and I just kind of stepped up to make sure nobody's in. And by the time I got to the second step, it felt like somebody had grabbed that loop on the back of your sneakers, and my foot actually came up and hit my back, and I fell down the stairs this way and had scraped both my arms and my hips, and I was all bruised up.
What was the sensation like?
Fear, total fear, because it was, honestly, I felt like somebody was behind me, so I came to this room and looked. I just wanted to get back out of here as quick as I could.
Huh?
Something else you guys might be interested in is this old jewelry box here. I picked it up at an estate sale, and those items were in the box when I got it.
So it could be that these belonged to someone and it meant something. So I think jewelry like this can hold on to energy.
So I'd like to get the team in here. We're going to be investigating for 2 nights. If we find anything logical and we can explain it away, I'm going to share that with you.
And I appreciate that very
Okay.
much.
There's a lot of reported activity in this building. I'm going to have Jason and Jesselyn stay here in the atrium while Chris, Brian, and I check out the club area.
I want to do full spectrum tonight. What room is this, John?
The storage room, and Pat has a lot of things that she's collected and picked up from estate sales. One of them was this jewelry box right here.
Not really getting much off of it. Nothing on the full spectrum.
You know what? I think we should try the staircase. People have gotten pushed, they're getting grabbed. All kinds of crazy things happen in the staircase right below us here.
Is this it right here, Dad?
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of hard
It's-
to walk down it.
Because it's the way they're laid out.
Yeah, it's very wide, the
Right.
steps.
You're used to like a step a half of the size. It throws you off. Usually stairs are spaced about 9-10 inches. These are like 2 feet wide, so I could see a person stumbling quite easily. We should try an EVP session right here.
Recording.
Can you tell me how many are in here with us?
Are you angry about something? Are you the one that's been pushing people down these stairs?
Let's listen back to that. Let's see.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how many are in here with us? Are you angry about something?
Right there. Do you hear that?
Something there, but I can't make it out. Let's listen
What's
again.
that first one?
About something? Same to me.
It's a phrase, not just a word, it's a phrase.
Wow.
Room 202, right?
Yeah, I think that's where the most activity has been reported, so you want to head there first?
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
These are the fish from the lake.
Nothing off there, eh?
No, nothing at all. Are you kidding me? That was a little girl laughing, and it was so loud.
Hello? Hello? What in the name of God?
It's so loud.
Where's that coming from? Is that from up here?
It sounds like it's coming from this room right here. Can we get in there?
It's locked. Son of a gun. Let's check all these doors and see if any of them are open. Are you still here with us? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is this
Wait a
open?
minute, Jace.
All right.
Oh, Jason, I am totally freaked out right now.
Let's just do a systematic scan. Let's see if we pick anything else up.
Jason, look at my EMF. I'm standing in the middle of the room.
Really?
It's going up.
Did you hear that?
What is that? It's behind me.
What is that?
It's in the drain. It's in there.
No, it's in the closet.
Oh my God, no way. It's in there.
No, it's in the closet.
Oh my God. No. Oh my God, no way.
Why the hell is there a prosthetic leg in the closet?
I mean, it's not like you just leave your leg behind.
Yeah, stop and think for a second. Is there, what, this is 212. Do we have any reports of any, like, why would this be here? There's nothing I know of, right?
My heart is coming out of my throat right now. I have no idea, but that's where the EMF was coming from.
Is there anything identifying, any name? I think this is something John's going to be interested in.
It's in these doors.
Did you make that noise?
No, just open the door. Sounds like...
Did anything fall down?
Not that I know of.
Here, John, why don't you go take a look? Wow. What is this thing over here? Look at that. What are you getting on your meter, Chris?
1.4? It's giving off something.
Yeah, so is the K2 meter. Look at that. Okay, let's pull this out and take a look at it.
Got it.
Is it still giving off readings? Nothing right now. It's definitely getting readings off of it like crazy in there. You know what? Tomorrow I'm going to have Jason and Amy look into this. Let's see what we can find out about it.
All right.
John has given me and Amy the task of trying to identify what this object is that they found last night. Amy and I are going to go meet with a local historian. His name's Vincent. He knows a lot of the local history of the area, as well as about Lake Norfolk.
Last night we found this tucked away in an old freezer. I was hoping you might be able to identify this for us.
Sure, it's an automatic watering trough for a horse. The horse would come to get a drink. It was hooked up to a hose here or a pipe for the water. They would push down on this lever here, and it'd automatically fill up so they could take a drink of water. I would guess this is probably from the 30s or 40s.
We know Henderson had a lot of farms. Is it possible that this could have come from a farm that's under the lake?
Oh, absolutely. There were actually around 400 farms in that whole region down there that was flooded by the lake.
What about the cemeteries?
That was a big issue. There was 26 cemeteries that had to be relocated for Norfolk Lake.
Were any of them located close to the inn?
Absolutely. You were located at the Norfolk Inn right here. Right here is the Maynard Cemetery. There's about 160 graves there. Generations upon generations of Maynards.
So literally, if you look out of the front of the hotel, you could probably see where the cemetery used to be.
You sure can.
Wow. We found out today that the old cemetery that's under the water is bordering the inn here. And when graves were being moved, one of them was an entire family, the Maynard family. Is this something that could trigger hauntings? I'm not quite sure, but we're going to find out. Tonight, Jason and I will concentrate on the hotel guest rooms. Chris will man the monitors. And Jess and Brian will investigate the club area.
Want to do an EVP session here?
Okay. All right. Recorder rolling. Is there a message that you're trying to communicate?
If you've got a message for Pat, now's the time.
Do you know the name Maynard?
We heard kind of noise around here, and I opened up the closet, and that fell out. Why would somebody leave that in a hotel room? Want to do an EVP session down here?
Okay, let's try and use this as a trigger item.
All right, rolling in room 212.
Can you tell us your name?
Is there anything in this building that belongs to you? What is that? What the hell?
That's a drain.
For what? There's no water.
Sounded like more on this end. Then it's so hard, Jay, because everything just echoes like crazy in here.
It's me. There's no water over here. It's completely dry. What is that? Whoa, wait a second. Are you freaking
Meter
serious?
just went crazy.
It's rained.
Getting anything off of it?
I know I am getting a little bit. Oh, there you go. Oh my god, dude.
There's definitely energy. associated with it, buddy, that's for sure.
I need a firm answer, yes or no. Are you part of the Maynard family? Oh, crap.
That way. All right, let's go.
Well,
On
maybe
our
it
way.
is leading us somewhere. Feels like a maze back here.
It really is. Coming from the freezer?
Ugh.
Getting a spike. I can't quite isolate where it's coming from.
What's this?
All right, do me a favor. Yeah, let's take both of these. Bring it over to that table there. I want to get a reading off of them individually. All right, spread them out on this table.
These are just tools. Basic wrench. Nothing.
I thought I was getting a reading from this before.
That's where I spiked, too.
Ah, you see this? My Mel is smoking.
That's what I thought, too. I saw that from over here.
What's causing that? Is it this?
Oh, no.
My Mel is smoking.
That's what I thought, too. I saw that from over here.
What's causing that? Is it this?
Oh, no.
Ow.
Did that burn you?
It's like it shocked me.
Whoa, lift your hand, dude. Holy crap. Did
Is it
this
from that?
blow up your millimeter? What is this?
It's a flask of some kind.
Yeah. Wait, it's got initials on it, right? BM?
BMM.
Maynard?
You know what I'm doing now.
Call John.
Hey, Johnny, got a reading off of this? Fried my millimeter, burned my hand.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding?
We pulled it out of the freezer. We pulled a couple of items out, and that one seemed to be giving us a reading.
BM. Wonder if that's one of the Maynards.
It's kind of what we were thinking.
I mean, Amy, we'll check on that tomorrow, see what we can find.
Good idea. We were over there and we were getting crazy noises down in the pool. He goes into the drain and he pulls out an old ring. And we're getting readings off of that like crazy.
Really?
I need to get this and that ring to an expert tomorrow.
During last night's investigation, the team found a flask with the initials BM, and we know that there was a cemetery that was moved. It was the Maynard Cemetery. So we're wondering if there's any connection.
So this has pretty much all the graveyards in the area, right?
That's right.
Henderson and Cantrell.
Here it is.
You found it?
Yep.
So we're looking for BM.
Do you see
Okay,
it?
here we go. Bud Maynard. Okay, are there any other BMs anywhere here? No, that's the only one. Grave number 151.
See if we can find a year on this.
1929.
Wow.
We normally don't have circumstances with two items, so it's really got me concerned. I'm going to meet with Tina. She's a local antiques expert. I'm kind of hoping you can give us some information on a couple of items that we had found.
Okay.
One of them is this particular item right here.
This is a silver-plated pit flask. And my opinion, I would put it in the 1920 era.
Okay.
And with the engraving, I think this would have been possibly a gift, and it would hold more meaning than just an average day flask.
Okay.
We also found this ring. Could you tell us what it could be made of or maybe date it for us?
It is small, so I would assume it would be worn by a young lady or a very small woman. It's not a precious metal, not a sterling or a gold. And the larger stone, I would think that it is colored glass.
Can you tell me when this would be made?
I would think the 1900s to the 1920
Okay.
era.
It's possible that these items belong to the Maynards, and if these personal possessions meant a great deal to their owners, this could explain a lot. Pat, you definitely have a lot of things that are happening in two buildings. We had a lot of activity throughout the club, and I'd like to show you what we found down there.
Oh, wow.
And we learned that there was a really large cemetery that was very close to the inn. It was called the Maynard Cemetery, and it was one of the ones that was relocated. And going through the list, we found the name Bud Maynard, and that was the only one that had the initials BM, as it does on the flask. There could be a connection.
Wow.
Jason and I ended up going down into the pool area, and we were getting crazy readings off of something, and this is what we had pulled out of the drain area.
That's amazing. It really is.
Pat, we captured an EVP, and I'd like you to listen to it.
Okay.
Are you angry about something?
What are you hearing?
Sing to me.
It sounds like a little girl to me. Maybe it's the same little girl you've been seeing here.
Wow.
With the cemetery being disturbed, not that far from here, I think some of these different things are actually tying in. It's possible the girl was another Maynard family member, and the ring belonged to her.
That's amazing.
So at this point in time, I'd like to ask you, what would you like to do with the flask and the ring?
Well, if it will take the negativity out, take them with you.
I definitely feel it's going to be able to help you, help the staff, and everybody to move on.
I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, John.
When remains of the deceased are disturbed, spirits can react. The Maynard family may still be searching for their final resting place, but by removing the ring and the flask from the inn, I'm hoping these lost souls will finally find their way into the afterlife.
Hey, John. My name's Tamara. And about 9 years ago, I bought this historic castle in Springfield, Missouri. When we first got here, we did notice some things. But lately, we've noticed it's kind of kicking up a little bit. I was walking down a hallway and I bumped into a mass that felt like a solid person. People have seen a black shadow in the basement following them, touching at the hair, touching the back of the shirt. I had one employee who felt like they followed him down the stairs. And I've never seen a man's face so white in my life. John, we put a lot of effort and time into this castle. It is our business. I need you to help me solve this now.
All right, guys, here we are in Springfield, Missouri, at Pythian Castle. What'd you guys find out?
Well, the Pythian Castle was built in 1913 by the Knights of Pythias, a secret society, a fraternal organization that was founded in 1864. The castle here was built to house its elderly members and also orphan children.
In 1941, the U.S. military acquired the building, and they transformed it into a service club for the soldiers. Actually, right behind it, there's a building that was used as an army hospital.
So the Pythian elders were literally kicked out of their home when the military came in and took over the place.
Tamara and her mom had purchased this. They've been running tours out of here. They're seeing shadow forms. They got people getting scared. Gotta see what we can find out.
Cool.
All right, guys? Hi, Tamara. John Zappis. This is my daughter, Amy Zappis.
Hi. Hi. Want to come on in?
Okay.
We bought this castle about 9 years ago to be a banquet facility, to host events.
Okay.
Right in this general vicinity is when we first started noticing things. From voices being heard to seeing lights. When I was walking down this hallway, I went through a curtain that we'd put up. And I thought I bumped into a person as solid as either of you two. And when I moved the curtain, there wasn't anybody there.
Something grabbed my arm and shook me awake.
He slit his throat here.
Are you kidding me?
What in the world? What the hell was that?
My one friend Tim also stayed here one night when I asked him to castle sit while we were out of town, and he had an experience here.
Tim, can you tell me about the most startling experience you've had here in the castle?
Well, actually, that would probably be the first night I spent alone in the building. I was asleep upstairs, but something in the middle of the night woke me up. And not just woke me up, grabbed my arm and shook me awake. I'll never forget that sensation of my arm being shaken, jolted awake. And I look over, and it's a solid-looking individual in front of me, and then it just kind of faded away. It just gone.
Did it ever cross your mind, I was just dreaming?
Nope. I was coherent. That was a solid entity that disappeared.
We do have one piece here that I would really like you guys to look at. It's an old spear. I found this in an antique shop.
Judging by the length of it and the shape of the spearhead, it looks like it's a Zulu war spear. And they were used in combat, and certainly their intent was to be lethal.
Well, this area tends to be the sleeping quarters. This is where we actually live. We have some perfume bottles that are really old.
It's a very common thing to go into buildings or homes and people could smell the scent of perfume, tobacco. And a lot of times that's how spirit will get your attention.
This is the place that we are by far the most uncomfortable with. We do know that back when it was the Knights of Pythias era here, the elder men actually sat in the front half of the basement. That was their sleeping quarters. And there's actually some cells in here
Okay.
that we believe POWs were kept at during World War II. We believe Germans, SS agents. And there's even a 240-foot long tunnel. In the back of that tunnel, people have seen shadow figures come towards them, and some have even heard them growl. We did find a bunch of the original artifacts in this basement.
Okay.
And they were actually found right here in this very space. We found at least a dozen whiskey and wine bottles, as well as some antique bolt cutters.
The whiskey bottles probably go back to World War II when they had this opened up as a recreation center for the soldiers. So I really don't feel that there's too much associated with the whiskey bottles. Probably just the spirit that was in them. All right, Tamron, we're going to get the group in here. We're going to investigate for a couple of nights, and we're going to try and see what we can figure out for you.
Look forward to it.
Okay. Well, we got a lot of ground to cover in here. So for tonight's investigation, I'm going to take the first and second floor with Jesslyn and Chris.
Hello?
Why, I have Jason and Brian down in the basement.
Okay, here's the tunnel. I mean, look at that, though. You can't even see the end right now. I'm hearing, noises outside right now. From the vibrations, it's sounding kind of like this low rumble, or it could be described as kind of a growl right now.
All right, this was sealed off. It probably would have been either stairs or a ladder right here. Look above us.
Yeah. Right there, it's blowing cobwebs, so the air is moving directly this way. So if you had a very windy day, anything like that, it could be blowing in there, causing that whistling. And that sounds so menacing, like it could cause the kind of growling too.
All right, I think we can move on back into the main area.
All right, guys, let's head up front where the spear is.
All right.
She picked it up at an antique store. It's from the Zulu tribe.
I was getting some EMF readings as we were walking down the hall here, like right in the middle of the room. And we walk up to this spear and I flatline.
Well, it's pretty quiet down here. Let's go upstairs and try.
Okay.
All right. Now, she had found on the property an old perfume bottle.
All right, well, I'm not getting any readings. What about the rest of the room, Chris?
Nothing really stands out.
Okay.
Knowing that POWs were kept down here, I think I want to break out the ghost box.
Cool.
Down here, there's been lots of reports of voices being heard, so I want to do a real-time communication, and the ghost box is just a tool. Okay. And scanning. Okay, is there anyone here with us right now?
Were you kept here during the war?
All right, I'm going to go a different way with this. Hallo. Guten Abend. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Anyway, I hope this captured it.
Okay, that's weird, dude. Is this like German to you?
I can't make out what it's saying, but I did hear the same intonation. That's pretty much kind of what I was saying.
Yeah. What the... I swear that cell door just opened.
What the hell?
Is this like German to you?
I did hear the same intonation. That's pretty much kind of what I was saying.
Yeah. What the... I swear that cell door just opened.
What the hell? Is anybody in there?
No. The hell? Dude, that's not easy to move, man.
Is that you that just moved this door?
Were you just speaking German to us? Can you make a noise? Can you do that again? Dude, that was weird, man. I mean, those windows are not open, and even if they were, there's no surface area here, so there's no way this could have moved on its own, right?
I mean, it's possible, but unlikely.
I want to take what we got from the ghost box and what we got in here, load it up on the computer, and we got to show John.
Yeah, sounds good.
So at this point, we've been told that POWs may have been kept here at the Pythian Castle. Also, in our night one investigation, me and Brian got this EVP that it really sounded like it was somebody speaking in German. So me and Amy were able to track down Dave Fiedler. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how are you?
He literally wrote the book on World War II POWs here in Missouri.
During World War II, there were German and Italian prisoners of war, both right here in Missouri. So, with the big army hospital right next door to the Pythian Castle, they used the prisoners of war to do various kinds of jobs, both in and around the hospital and in support of all the military activities taking place there.
So do you know if any of the German POWs were here at Pythian Castle?
Well, it's a scenario that's really not plausible. The Germans were at the hospital because they had some sort of illness or injury that they were receiving treatment for. And in fact, these Germans were pretty hardcore Nazi prisoners of war who were openly hostile to the United States and to the nurses who were providing them care, to the point where they would spit at the nurses and curse at them and things like that. So they were confined to the hospital next door. There's never any indication that the German prisoners of war would have been in the Pythian Castle.
Really? We're kind of baffled because it's confirmed that there were no German prisoners of war down here, so.
That's, really weird, John. Jay and I decided to do a ghost box session, and because of all the rumors about POWs being German and Italian, I figured, let's speak in German, see if we get a response. I feel we did. Listen to this. Now, okay. After cleaning it up, I was able to pull out the word Heimat, which in German is home, like homeland.
Okay. Well, there's definitely got to be some type of a connection that's going on here. Since a lot of activity has been happening in the basement, let's concentrate there tonight. Jess and I will investigate the basement sleeping quarters. Jason will man the monitors on the first floor. And Chris and Brian will check out the rest of the basement.
Let's get those cameras set up. Okay, this one's up. This one's good. The castle's a big place. We're going to be deploying 5 shadow detectors. Now, essentially what those are, they measure light. So if anything passes them or comes near them, it's going to alert us to exactly where in the hallway they're coming from. Okay, activated. We've got shadow detectors running the entire hallway. Let's leave this section alone for right now. I want to let the shadow detectors do their job. If anything happens, they'll go off and we'll come back. Let's move on.
Well, Jess, in this part here, they got a lot of reported activity. Supposedly, a lot of the elders live down here.
It's real creepy down here. This looks like an interrogation room.
Now, they got that crazy EVP last night in German.
You want to do some EVPs?
Worth a try. Can you tell me what nationality you are?
Can you tell us your name? What the hell was that?
Let's go check it out.
Are you kidding me?
I didn't hear it close, though, did you?
Yeah, I think that's what that noise was.
Is that what it was? Something's trying to tell us something.
So this area's pretty quiet, too.
You're not really getting too much in here. Is that one of them going off?
Something's going off. Stay back. Hello? Whoa. Far into the hallway. Hello? Whoa. Dude, it's getting closer.
Is something walking towards us right now?
What the hell was that?
Is something walking towards us right now?
What the hell was that?
Is there something like right in front of us?
What exactly is going on down here?
anything in there?
Looks like a lot of debris. All right. I just got a spike.
Shouldn't be anything electrical in there.
There's definitely not. Yeah, this is going crazy, Chris. All right, I got something.
What the hell is that?
I'm coming out.
All right. Did you make anything out?
Definitely writing on it. There's some writing on the side, too. You see that?
What the hell does it say?
Hey, John, you there?
Hey, bud, what's up?
You're going to want to take a look at this.
All right, dude, I'm on my way down. Hey, what you got going on?
Take a look.
Oh, it's like a medallion or something.
We think it's German on the other side, but I thought that might be the Iron Cross.
Well, you know what? We got that information that came over the ghost box, and that's in German. I definitely need to get this to somebody that can give me a lot more info about this medallion. Today I'm meeting with Ron. He's a military collectible expert. I'm hoping he can share some information on this German medallion with me.
Well, John, what you got here is a medal awarded by the German government to the soldiers for the Franco-Prussian War, 1870 to 71. Basically, it was a power struggle in between France and Germany. It was pretty much a bloody battle. You can see the W on here, which stood for King Wilhelm.
Okay.
And this would have been given out to all the troops of his.
So what would that actually mean to a soldier?
Pride.
All right. This is a very special item. I have a feeling that this belonged to somebody that lived here in the castle. I'm going to have Amy and Jason really dig in to see what they can find out.
So John asked me and Amy to search through the death records, see if there were any unusual deaths here at the castle. I mean, so far I'm just, finding what I'd expect. Mostly natural causes, arthritis.
Heart attack. Looks like somebody had TB.
Okay, I got a suicide.
Really?
No way. Give your dad a call.
Hello?
Jason and I were just going through the death records.
What'd you find out about it?
We found a suicide.
The name's William Resenbrink. He was one of the Pythian elders that was staying in Castle.
He cut his throat with a razor.
At Pythian Castle, bled out. He died in 1942. But the crazy thing is his origin.
Birthplace is Germany.
Wow.
That's pretty creepy, guys.
All right, that's some good information. Good work.
All right,
See ya.
Well, Tamara, I thank you for inviting us in to investigate. We did get an EVP that I'd like you to listen to.
It does sound like a foreign language.
It's in German. What it's basically saying is my homeland.
We wanted to see if there was any connection with the cells, and I know you said that you thought there were POWs that were kept down here. And we talked to a historian that told us there were no German POWs here at Pythian Castle. So Jason and I decided to go through the death records of all of the elderly members that stayed here, and we learned there was a suicide here. Wow. And the suicide was of a man named William, and he was German.
He committed suicide in here in 1942, and that's when they sold this property to the U.S. government. On the second night, we started having a lot of activity, and we found something that I'd like to show you.
1870, 1871, and it looks like German.
It's actually from the Franco-Prussian War. Each soldier was presented this when they would win a victory over there in the war. It was almost like a badge of honor. We're never going to be sure if this was Williams, but the possibilities are there. We have a proud man with an unfortunate ending to his life. I feel that he's looking for recognition. I'm hoping you will take this medal and you will put it on display here at the Pythian Castle. By doing this, I think some of that negative energy is going to calm down.
We'll proudly place this out there. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. I think there's a way to help every restless spirit. If the loyalty of this German soldier is recognized, I'm hoping this troubled soul can finally be released from this world and move on to his final destination,